Aye.
The recording started. Good luck.
Thanks. Hey. Sorry about the back-to-back rounds. You said it was most similar to version 2. What changes? I'm compiling them right now, but it's nothing significant at all. Okay, like you didn't add in an impact scenario or take that in. Okay.
May I be on the email chain, please? Or is it, are you gonna do
Yeah, I can add you, yeah.
Thanks. Sorry, did you already send it?
No, I did
Goof
not.
it up.
Sorry, I know I have your email saved somewhere.
No, that's okay. It's just, it's also on my paradigm, adam.torson@marlborough.org.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I found it.
Sweet. Oh, I know what's happening. Your round is marked online. I bet this judge is online.
Oh. How does this like work? Reload the tab room page and a hybrid round thing will pop up.
Oh, yeah, but like, how are we gonna like unmute it so it doesn't like echo?
Oh.
Maybe the person speaking.
Yeah, we should do, we'll figure out process when it happens.
Hi, we didn't realize that one of the judges was online, so we just went out.
Can you turn on the sound for yourself?
Oh, can y'all hear me now? Okay, yeah, hi, sorry, we didn't realize that one of the judges was online, so we just went, email was sent.
You can send it to my iCloud email, mine for disclosure.
Yeah.
Merci. Cool, I'm good.
Everyone else just looking at me.
I have.
I sent it to heightsdocs.ld@gmail.com.
It just came through for me 1 second ago, so
Okay, I need a speech bump if that's better. Let me know when you're good for the code.
okay.
Okay, capital R,
Wait.
capital C, capital E, capital D, capital K, lowercase n.
Cool.
Sorry, just say it one more time.
Yeah. Capital R, capital C, capital E, capital D, capital K, lowercase n. Okay, anyone not good? Okay, good. Yeah, so, the other judge wasn't able to get the email, probably Wi-Fi issues, so I also made an additional speech bump. I just put it in chat also. It's the same app though, so you don't have to re-download it. Okay. Advantage 1 is tensions, presence continues, backlash, Iraq troops are unnecessary. New design 227, attacks against US personnel intensified political pressure technically far beyond Somali presence, affecting terror for the history of occupation opportunity amongst the militias, made us strongman, and given the pretext of terrorism, to resume attacks forces should be withdrawn to the Iraqi government, build its military without interference, proposition that Iraq can be used for attacks against Iran is particularly prohibited. Foundational document for the relationship body of the US is a clear of Bahrain, Saudi, the UAE, along Jordan, and Turkey maintain sufficient assets Iraqi forces are capable of need training and cooperation provided other nations, forces, contractors, or militia forces using present situation aligned with Iran to receive funding in the presence of troops to strengthen this militias and freedom sovereignty and suspension of state. Also, 224 held the loss of priority tactic, redeployment and mobilizations as provided forces with info oppositions, and redeployment change tactics, PMF attacks, and deterring Iranian influence as far as troops are sitting Dutch sector 226 nuclear, unclear whether Sudani favors below or intend to visa, treaties, and only criticism U.S. strikes, contemporary assault, American target, American personal violations of Iraqi sovereignty, and Saudi discipline, and the violation also to the U.S. and military presence in uncontrollable use against leveraging our presence in Iraq to push back Washington leads all Iraqi Kurdish to support countries and beyond which all the Iraqi and images spread as incomplete Iran establishing hedge over Iraqi forces parts of targets to be U.S. troops on Washington better position to pursue issues remaining current turns in urban Washington to engage Iraqi about Iranian corruption visa does not infrastructure or Syrian hedge and militia one and assume relates to war only in phase withdrawal the Saul's Wednesday 23 the U.S. strike against Iraq militias after attacks central Washington and militias and return military to respond militias pop out into respond forcefully and launching everything in posture and Iraq phase withdrawal troops benefits outweigh the risk of troops to better conflict troops utility and clearing deterrent attacks and that causes war sleep and ultimately for destructing power reasons water more U.S. helps and Iraq's help over Iraq 80% agreements violated U.S. the Senate routines right to defend Iraq's movement to start new different frontiers also not signal time to present to the U.S. and increasing capabilities of Iraqi troops Washington where as put Iraq in a full position spreading public opinion against President Trump have potential risks to be as far decision as Iran linked groups oppose U.S. President Donald and Iran controls global powers war 2020 U.S. Iran war is going to escalate Russia China from the Iran is Russia defense over Russia Russia solidified ties Iran Turkey and there's some months of terror the U.S. and the East parties kill trade pencil and checkers real nations get decided to December Iran attack 40 banks hundreds fighting only the Secret Exchange every 2020 tackle Iran escalation large war in the Middle East Iran introducing insertion China allies of Iran drawn in nukes news by extremists helping in the world and humble favor results in things no strike global relations fall population perish and thus the plan the United States ought to substantially reduce its military presence in the Republic of Iraq and phase withdrawal normalizing relations while solving regional threats strong remains 723 no way our troops not relations following to the permission of European providing training to CBS before U.S. troops in no means U.S. troops using commentary transition as a safe training prevent regeneration by assisting and swallowing to abilities to reduce long-term risks open and intervention right center relation to diplomatic mission and legal awareness necessary these the certain avoiding competition with Iranian militias are effective in governance business militias perception of unequal resources and instability and Syria contribute to fragile these wealth and majority leads only Iraqi resolve baseball presence territorial rights and switches cultural geographical and linkages presence Iraqi competence everything Saudi this company is committed to open a presence sales Iraq development and new threats increase the probability to withdraw U.S. forces in Iraq 2,500 down to 158,000 now advantage shoes stability military presence rise Iraqi independence and choice independence capabilities makes a hasty withdrawal down 723 advantage withdrawal business going to surgery development and interest in increase in withdrawal mission is beneficial to diminish cost of withdrawal increase in terms as they confidently keep indefinite commitment underway incentive to develop capability purchase corruption and respect and features for U.S. as it fails in corruption and underway Iraq forces give access to advantage representing our resolve government short composition a true composition of the state and increases the presence violate Iraqi interest unsustainable and to attack Anderson 131 consent essential to U.S. also Iraq for troops if consent interest in interest and true legal arrangements sees a global arrested the reoccupation of controversial federal consent after someone negotiations the withdrawals from the political strike and triggered conviction and wind up and household support to the U.S. State Resettles under Senate closer to the the predecessor culture and rights and tyranny fails peaceful either call morale 723 and call the outside Iraq and transition to training and rise security forces influential public prisons conflicting interests receptional of other credibility support never decrease insufficient reassurance morals the imperative and Afghan Iraqi bullshit military the threat weakened army U.S. cannot substitute for political and traditional participate not only connected like soldiers motivate majority civilian which concern legitimate back in presence voice underlying public in the most malicious and increasing corruption after 220 rocket attack by the CU strikes your star rocket strikes do nothing to fix our problems underlying violence and presence and Iraq population of belong before long trained in the Bavarian militias almost funds and supplies militia troops underfunding the direction partners certain American grievances and present phase which all enable successful relations with the Iraqi sovereignty and reals and militia patricians are like inviting self-defense and normalizing restriction to the Iraq to devise complicated direction with militias that are need to ready no militias holding concern that is constitutes vessel or military personal military relation militias of the Iraq for Iraq as long as leadership during insertion multiple directly under Iran Iranian undermine sovereignty cut the sovereignty terrorist resurgence is likely present in public and instability she was leaving American the U.S. escalate after forces respond to militias U.S. strike militia killing Iraq forces and moved to civil security Iraq demanded a U.S. leave vowing to war presence and deputy security immediate departure strikes extremely targeting American interests troops sitting targeted as effectively to civil war creates a security recognition that terrorists exploit and extremism flows into CBR and terror extinction global public as the possibilities of nuclear policy after terrorists for example intended to CBR and there was strong motivation mobilization Jamal Triple CW and these chemical weapons and Iraq extend to factors after Valley CBR and public and Middle East and America obtaining weapons and material people possible materials stolen accessible to organic for 1800 times and up to hundreds of bombs is vulnerable and corruption causes Iraqi plots use Iraqi relations are united 23 Americans and trade industry to Iran the same policy deploys in term Middle East the refugees and terror block Allied Iran and change the rules of country to Iran embedded some of the same institutions of the Hamas general company with 1.2 million acre militia city revenue system and power down to single spending factor for revenue people inflation protest and civilian refugee to Europe for the quarter Europe and migration shocks and nuclear aggression money eventually domestic life provoking gas migration legion international public shock wave and very long and the lack of economic opportunities to trigger military response another refugee future food prices in the same time as mass migration comes with failure states, and in every Catholic court, and every now the framework of the standard generation zero part 15, future people born to reduce access to resources for Chileans, all comes to reduce the more consequences of that larger diversity on virtues, and much more reasons to reduce risk. Cut risk.
Cool. Any theory in terms of spikes or tricks?
No.
Cool. You skipped everything under
Water. Yep.
You skipped water?
Yep.
Did you read UNEC? You skipped cherry and below.
Yeah.
Did you read the migratory shock stuff?
Yep.
And everything else was not you read?
Yeah. Just skipped the cherry evidence down. Yeah. Skipped cherry down and the advantage, read everything else.
Cool. How much is substantially reduced?
Yeah, the Simon evidence is actually extremely specific. It says that initially, or if you're asking about like what a phase withdrawal entails, the Simon evidence essentially says that initially about 88% of troops are withdrawn immediately, which is, around 90%. After that, the remaining troops are essentially kept there for things like anti-terror operations, which consists of CTS and etc.
Who controls the militias that are causing issues in Iraq?
Well, militias are, for example, Iranian militias and militias from Iraq that essentially come together and represent, their governments. That is what a militia is.
So if you deter Iran, are you deterring the Iranian militias?
I guess we've read evidence that Iranian militias are the ones that are escalating. The plan would
Are
be
the
able to
Iranian
not
militia-
only deter militias,
Are the
but also
Iranian militias under the control of Iran?
They represent Iran. I can't tell you
What do you
specifically.
mean they represent Iran?
Militias are essentially either part of state organizations where they come out and they escalate tensions depending on what their beliefs are, or they're under the control of Iran. We've read evidence that the plan would be able to deter both militias and Iran as a whole.
So you just said that they're under the state and that they are under the control of Iran, which means that if you deter Iran, then Iran can stop the militias.
Well, we've read evidence that specifically the plan is key because the plan is the only thing that is able to reduce military presence that would be able to be enough in order to increase our deterrence.
Do you fiat that we would do anything to train Iraq's troops?
Yeah, or the Simon evidence essentially outlines that the second phase of withdrawal is essentially sustained training with about
the tag
200
tag
troops.
is quote training fails. Principal agent problem in morale.
Yeah, we've read evidence that training in the status quo, because there is sustained military presence of over 2,500 troops, is currently failing. The presence that we are keeping in Iran are advisory troops, which means that they are not there for things like fighting and combat operations physically, but they are advisory troops who
so you would keep those advisory troops then?
Yeah, about 200 troops. The Simon evidence indicates that it would be a phase withdrawal.
We decreased our military presence in Iraq way more than 80% over the past 20 years. We went from 150,000 in 2003 to 2,500 now. Why haven't those massive decreases been sufficient to prevent all of your acts?
Well, that does not assume inherency. We've read a ton of evidence for why escalation is happening now. Escalation is not happening back in 2000 when troops were reduced, but escalation now and reducing presence now is the only way to stop current escalation.
Cool. I'll send out the doc. Order is 4 Hoffman case. 1 case is advantage 1, advantage 2. I'll just add it to the speech draw.
Yeah. She said she'll add it to the speech draw.
Here, let me go off.
Okay, yeah, let me mute myself 1 second.
Cool. It should be in the speech draw, by the way. Let me know when you're good, Hannah. Also, can I borrow your stand?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. I'm just gonna drag this up. That was unintentional. You're at DDI this year?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Are you good? Awesome. Hannah, are you good? Perfect. First off, the United States often substantially increases military presence in the Republic of Iraq. The problem is that we're not that the U.S. will secure and firmly a resolution raising the odds of catastrophe. And second off, U.S. dominance in the Middle East is strong, but shaky military presence is the key to countering region's expansion. China and Russia perceive great power competition at zero sum. Pink is 23. The region's undergoing transformations gone Washington to China, Ukraine, and zero sum 8% of Bill China to get a multi-sided strategic partnership with Iran to get a relationship with Russia led. Several action Iran prior status and mitigated considerably by China recovered to humiliated by refusing to all production U.S. They go Saudi relationship before the U.S. tried to placate the UAE, like Saudi Arabia, suspended relationship with Iran, trying to get a fraction of the U.S. More than trying to shift this in negotiation across the U.S. Is by news out of the Middle East, region developed reflections on any confusion by defense and alliance neighbor for the U.S. for sure President Trump may be able to replace America, but Americans don't want to see tumultuous regional leaders of Beijing. And withdrawal triggers Sino Russian fill, and the U.S. is still a major player with the plan triggers great power competition. SCMP 21. U.S. scales back in the alert President China and Russia building happy for goods to slowly maybe look also ordinary because all the competition Russia China looking closely to see in fact both they can exploit there may be an opportunity Russia accelerate defense system around and expand its economic power and its military bases in America's primary long security tolerance region seeking footholds in Africa and the Middle East strategy of doing more may prevent China and Russia U.S.'s partner choice when that option is on open countries hedge. And great power competition, the meeting with nuclear continue U.S. president continue necessary to prevent arms using miscalculation. Me 2015. Sorry, the United States should reduce our involvement in the Middle East wars and destroy the life of the U.S. would ensure commerce, taking energy and global competition to prevent any power from gaining ability to blacken out the world's long-term great power visa. Major power to engage and build a stronger American presence in the Middle East to prevent security competition to the U.S. and the United States withdrawing China would see need to protect security, accelerating build Europe and India would see this as surrounding trust and road zero sum competition for security would drive hostility and risk of power conflict would intensify. And third off, interpretation now supposed to reduce military presence in the entire West Asian North Africa region. In words and phrases awaited means throughout region to the dictionary, the entirety of area, the violation they do the plan specified begin on limits of ground expect expose limits to every individual subset of country African mood that crap and ski described based on perception of law controls like assurance or deterrence country specific dishouse particularly outweighs. Some groups who couldn't engage in the first place meeting to yes no questions it says that that's not normal reasonable is arbitrary leads to gender intervention drops and no guys being topicals burning the their solvency. Advocacy. Fourth off. Johnson's pushing for Ukraine now, for instance, 4-3. After months of label $2 billion Airbnb heading towards Pastor, Johnson wants aid to approve right now with rules of action on April 1's border innovations providing aid or using funds from Russian assets to support Ukraine and ramping up on U.S. natural gas exports. Aid. Military involvement in the Middle East is a hot button issue. The plans for so long intense debate and success by the PC. Kristen 23. A bipartisan majority in both chambers seems to tend on negotiating involvement in the region. Republicans routinely demonstrate their unwillingness centered around Iran. Most significant amendment rejection was bipartisan unanimous majority on ready to leave the Middle East mainstream as Republicans to fully repeal without replacing your House of Virgin legislation be subject to disagreement debate along the proposal along with the UMM child helps us try to demonstrate simultaneously the Middle East, Syria, and Somalia overwhelmingly bipartisan rejection confirmed that a democracy approved military in the Middle East aid giving Russian nuclear weapons cause nuclear extortion weapons for non-check expansion ensures great power war. Show 122. Second who demands is not the best way to minimize the danger of nuclear war surrender can increase the possibility of nuclear weapons tragedies. Washington stopping supplies to Ukraine and Kremlin because the demand started from Georgia Moldova could we move from Baltic states Moscow Russian miscalculated included would encourage nuclear extortion from victims of Russia our nuclear arms South Korea Taiwan Japan Iran Saudi Arabia UAE Qatar Egypt Brazil Mexico rest of the world war terrorism increase exponentially increase nuclear war. And excellent case. First one, managed one. It's not by invading in 2003. There was nothing more escalator than sending 150,000 troops to Iraq. Then second, deterrence is not working. Iran stop striking us. Deterrence is working. Iran stop striking us in Iraq and Syria. Fauci et al. 2227. Iran has made a concerted effort to rein in militias in Iraq and Syria after retaliating their strikes. There were regional concerns with different outcomes leading to escalation. There were no attacks by Iraq and only 2 in Syria. Iran has not control. The question is, are the militias attacking Iran? They are not near work to turn around there. So their direct confrontation. They know if Americans are killed, it would mean war. They had to put the brakes on. And third is continued military presence key. Anything else guarantees proxy Iranian and Turkish escalation. Robert 216. Iran's growing influence in Iraq results in the right Iraqi politics held between the U.S. and Iran underline the importance of continued engagement strikes between the U.S. and Iran. Militias escalated to force the U.S. to withdraw with some Iran's influence to advertise civilization of the wider region. Critics argue presence risk escalation. The U.S. provided critical assistance to Iraq security forces while preventing the escalation of other conflicts such as Turkey and Kurdish Iranian backed political factions in Iraq enabled militias that will lead to robust American engagement in Iran's influence be countered, and that's only possible with American military presence in Iraq. And withdrawal from Iraq would be disastrous. Empirics prove. Rubin 212. Exit of the U.S. would be disastrous. Iran will decision withdraw from Iraq, enabling all the state to say 1/3 of Iraq's territory balance becomes impossible. Iran would be run roughshod after the Lebanese civil war. Saudi Arabia between the Taliban will administrate will hold the Iraqi government needs support, not abandon it. And 5 is a plan will backfire. Iran is fundamentally revisionist. Taj Bankash 2-2. Failure to enforce effective deterrence is a leads the way to secure election civil war around letter besides the escalation of registering was intended to avert humidity is misguided appeasing enemy no credible deterrence is Iran progress short see antipathy towards liberalism assassination of Salman Rushdie misconception that Iran is a statical power and think tanks ignoring a revisionist Islamist ideology goals to dominate the region, put soldiers on the battlefield, provoke Western sanctions in the name of revolutionary credentials expanded Hamas and Hezbollah. Skip Feynman, advantage 2. 1. Iraq wants the U.S. to stay and fund by Iraq, asking the U.S. to leave multiple times, selling money Pinko 19. Iraq Prime Minister privately told American officials they want to negotiate keep U.S. forces in the country. The country to have satisfied with estimate political audience, so that remain committed to negotiating U.S. President sees presence in Iraq as important for research devices, countering Iranian influence to prevent the warring on from widening more there. At the invitation of the government of Iraq, I'm not aware of any notification by the Iraqi government to the Department of DoD, Pentagon, to have a close relationship with Iraqi secret reports. The second is that the entire advantage is stopped by the fact that they don't completely reduce U.S. military presence in the region. It means that Iran is still provoked, the militias still have a target to attack, and it means that Iraq is still mad that the U.S. is trying to be paternalistic and telling them what to do. 3 is that American forces in Iraq are key to deterring ISIS and other terrorist groups, where 11.8. American forces in Iraq have killed ISIS militants, detained SATCOM and Marine fast and defeated by the challenges include ongoing attacks against bases in Syria and Iraq, U.S. service members to deter other groups in the country, vastly encouraging military losses between devices and the need for a military effort to prevent ISIS focus on defeat devices and mission and provide a presence to ensure security and stability. 3 is only U.S. presence in Iraq determines Iran to expansion of proxy war and ISIS appears slow neg, Mulder 23. The rise of IS and its advantage that the U.S. factor of Iraq airstrike campaigns and Ukraine and Iraq's military political influence in the military training in Iraq have been recurring security control presently said vertical movements across Iraq and Syria into Lebanon for proxy, including Hezbollah presence disruption of contested land bridge for Iran to see Eastern Mediterranean Iraq critical logistical support for American forces in Syria battling IS contacts airstrike and other missions guarding thousands of imprisoned for Iraq. U.S. forces are ready to remain completely committed to Washington. Withdrew in 2011, tens of thousands of Iraqi civilians were dead. 4 is major all causes of Iraqi corruption. Beyond 22. Embezzling case $2.5 billion heist may only cover 1% of corruption. It's a semi-corruption device managed to protect from political elite chaotic period. After the end of Saddam allowed elite to embed themselves at the root is the consociationalist power sharing vacuum. Particular factors because of the entrenched decentralized power violence and combined judiciary rent terror economy with higher oil prices and foreign interference here now led by the economic interest. Cut the code interest. And 5 code ever since the word nuclear it only says to only term intervals instability which stopped by decades. 6 is one is cut the intent to develop climate at all costs. Clear 2020. Climate affects the international conflict research from North Africa and the Middle East into Southern Europe. The situation in Libya was particularly fraught and even greater result to flee the vast fighting and conditions in Syria. Cut the card in Syria.
Okay. Are you good for thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first off, I guess, what is the net benefit? Is it like the internal net benefit, or does it also like have the net benefit of just the disads?
All case turns and all disads.
Okay. How does it not link to politics? I guess.
We increase our military presence. Military presence in the Middle East is popular.
Okay. Where have you read evidence that it's popular?
That's our second card, Christensen 23.
Okay.
Quote, a bipartisan majority of both chambers of Congress seem intent on continuing the United States military involvement in counterterrorism operations in the
They
region.
seem intent on continuing military involvement. This seems distinct from increasing military involvement. Continuing would be the status quo. Why does it not link to the counterplan?
Yeah, all of the card is talking about how we approves of the military. Like the last line, for example, is overwhelming bipartisan rejection confirm that Congress approves the military in the Middle East. Seems to suggest that they like it.
That's fine.
Also, at the very least, it's comparatively better than the affirmative.
Okay, status of the counterplan?
Combat.
Okay. The Cosby evidence is about Syria and Iraq, or is this about Iraq specifically? Or where does
Yes.
the counterplan specifically mention that deterrence in Iraq is uniquely good?
Airstrikes in Iraq with sufficient deniability would undermine Iranian coordination.
Would undermine Iranian coordination? Why is that a warrant for like full-on deterrence and stopping Iran as a revisionist power, like you've indicated?
A more prudent policy would respond with disproportionate force, primarily in the Levant. All of this,
it would
it's a
respond
solvency
with
advocate.
force. Where does that indicate that the force would be successful and that undermining Iranian coordination would be enough to stop their escalation?
Undermining Iranian coordination means that it's impossible to coordinate. Second, the last line is demonstrating that the U.S. will secure its interests firmly, e-resolution invites further pressure, and raise the odds of catastrophe. Just ask Neville Chamberlain's ghost.
The Iran is revisionist evidence. It says no credible deterrence has progressed in Iran towards nuclear latency. So it seems that this card would implicate the counterplan. If no credible deterrence is possible, why does the counterplan
it says in the
solve?
status quo, the U.S. has mounted no credible deterrence, which proves the need for the counterplan.
Where does your evidence say that increased deterrence would be able to solve this?
That was the counterplan's That was the counterplan.
Okay,
so the counterplan begins with Biden's unwillingness to move against the Houthis guarantees continued pressure.
Okay,
Limited American response could trigger large-scale reprisal.
If Iran is revisionist, why does, so your counterplan is essentially, and this piece of evidence establishes that it is a sufficient condition to deter Iran, where does your counterplan or this piece of evidence suggest that it is a necessary condition?
ooh, it says necessary and sufficient. If we prove that Iran is inherently revisionist and that they want to expand and that right now they are trying to provoke a war, then it's a necessary response if we're working out with the assumption that nuclear war is bad.
I don't see the
to do the
correlation,
counterplan.
but sure.
Okay.
The Baldur evidence is from last year. Why does it assume current strikes? Or actually, that's fine. It's okay. 5 minutes of crowd starting now. You said the counterplan was Congo, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, 125 left. I will type that in the document. Okay, sorry, let me unmute. I have 125 left.
Oh, let me just go on mute.
Okay, sending the document right now. The order is, case, it'll be advantage 1, advantage 2, and then the 4 offs in the same order you read it. Let me know when everyone is good.
the timer. Okay, I'm good. Okay. Cool. Wait, sorry. Sorry, Hannah, are you good? Sorry, I wasn't on the screen. Okay, perfect.
Advantage 1 to 2003 argument is not about current tensions like the soul money killing temporary deterrence does not assume to provide the Avery evidence is unsustainable, and the 20C assignment on the diss page is dropped. The first piece of 1C evidence that says that deterrence in the South is unsustainable for the permanently rooted tensions between Iran and Iraq in the U.S. because of ideological beliefs, differences in training, and the Prime Minister called it without it, which means it is all temporary. Secondly, their key now part is about who these numbers are. First is October 7th Thumpster argument. Troops have been hit 37 times. No deterrence has solved. 3 is January Iran is increasingly raising a shark near the U.S. conflict that Simon and 4 is red lines. No knows if we back up with threats or not. That's the Weinstein evidence. Now the Iran revisionist topic is the reason for why the affirmative is able to solve for their arguments. Their own evidence says that deterrence is failing right now. There's no reason in their evidence that says that it is a necessary enabler in order to sort of increase deterrence to stop Iran's revisionism, but only the plan is able to do that because it's try or die. Now they draw that we keep anti-terrorism operations like the CTS, etc., which means that the plan solves terrorism, but Iran more outweighs militarization and irrationality escalates Iraq or rise from Russia. China allies are drawn in because of economic interests as Avery. Now advantage to drop conflict. The also means only the plan solves negotiating. Their evidence is literally the plan. Yes, phase withdrawal. Almost all are withdrawn. 88% except for the ones in Simon, which are anti-terrorist operations. The phase withdrawal creates the plan. Keeps counter-terror operations solving the link end. Otherwise, U.S. troops are viewed as a failsafe that results in nationalist backlash, instability, and corruption. Causes more terrorism. The plan normalizes situations with Iraq and reduces over lands only. Emboldening Iraqi capacity solves terrorism. That outweighs the flip seen increase against backlash at the South. So try to solve through the plan. No benefit because actually terror outweighs a single target coupled growth in governance, which destroys miscalculation problem and deterrence collapse. Now their own causes argument to corruption is wrong. We've read arguments that currently corruption is only because their arguments are about small corruption, but we've read evidence that it's because of the plan. Now increased present counterplan do permanent will continue defense on other scenario permanent shield delete. Now our troops are seriously factor the counterplan adds often the truest consent deficit increases the presence violent agreements are causing it to become in range of presence that collapses independent state capabilities, also more attacks and ensures a faster and easy withdrawal. The withdrawal relations deficit the counterplan wants service you don't need to request for withdrawal effectively. Ending relations with Iraq, strong regional military relations are the only way to prevent corruption, which is impactful to terrorism, those migration and water. That's not now the feeling is that the entire second advantage is straight term withdrawal helps build independent Iraq, which strong capacity to terror regional adversaries and combat terror until but absent the plan, keeping the troops mixed around Qaeda, so the increasing engagement with the adversaries like Russia and Iran. That's Simon no link all the troops in Iraq are medium terms advised. We read that on the case page, but no one can fill in. The answer 17 presence in regional and general order measuring the 20 years Islam persistent the capabilities of our territory again influenced by internal problems at the card and internal problems the chosen 12, 11 and chosen 20, which all thought perception 1 Simon since combat ops ended by late 2021 perception is thumb 723. It was withdrawn between 2005 and 12 partners anticipating this will continue to several calls we all have already in presence has been 2500 remain. That's 85% but now about 23 in the ACA troops manufactured 2500 and worked out for 770,000. China's busy only 22 multi-lat mean that neither China really is training for victory. Allies commitment to enable the model by strategy both to terror restraining and political order under facility China and the US will be destroyed by the changes warming supply pathogen populations and new tech cut the card at new tech go back up fill in on Ukraine routing 23 the war with Hussein disaster Ukraine water Ukraine energy media understood by Russia Iraq relations Russia as a partner friend Iraq pushes to Russia subject to ensure energy is immune Iraq refrain from condemning Russia cut the card Russia now T substance counter to regional firms we defend a substance West Asia without regional sphere of full coverage particular any large areas in which it could be divided topic literature everyone is carbon substance are keeping hunter receiving ground second is pigs minor pigs parasite can be become large office money some forces only breaking one area to the restore with no deficits and functional limits generic checks all their offense insolvency and heresy perception links to turns freedom public K all check now Ukraine A Russia's wiped ammunition shortages and sanctions made the war unsustainable Korea 24 Russia has returned the Korea ammunition to weapon to Ukraine facing the extreme challenges of changing the domestic production insufficient needs Moscow able to supply only by all sources sanctions causing security delays cost inability to access Western components and production and repairs of long-term cause resistance come high cost firing low sterling fed heart rate not producing enough habit to turn foreign sources of poor quality Ukraine failed to develop to 16 cost recess of video and Ukraine Senate last weekend by Harbor Women's Defense Opposition Board opportunity response system some will bill by budget rejected Johnson send over Republican not these zero trains are actually conditionalities voting issue excuse the one area increase labor union debates by kicking your offensive assaults if we kick they prepare laws with teams strategic flexibility.
Cool. I have 5 minutes of prep starting now. Only theoretical reasons to drop in bigger was condo, right?
Yep.
Perfect. on case you didn't read any new cards, right? You just
Um,
extended old cards.
Yep.
Did you extend the terror scenario?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Order is the Finland Disad, the Ukraine Disad, the counter plan, the second advantage, and then advantage one. Oh, I should unmute so that the other judge can hear the order. Okay, the order is the Finland Disad, the Ukraine Disad, Deterrence counter plan, advantage 2, advantage 1. Sorry, what did you say? Sorry, am I repeating that? Oh, you.
Oh wait, am I muted?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, can you repeat the order? Okay, it's fill and disad, Ukraine disad, deterrence counter plan, advantage 2, advantage 1. You good, Hannah? Awesome. Are you good?
Yeah.
Perfect. On the fill in this time, I've been seeing that no one can fill in. Means that they get no offense because there's no chance of filling in the first place. Ukraine disad, I'm conceding that Ukraine aid will fail. There's no impact because Russia doesn't have enough troops. Con means they get rid of all offense. Condo. Counter-interpretation, negative Cameron, 1 conditional position preferred, A, negative flags, after safe and parameters, negative axis, also pulsal strategy, conflict, with the huge structural advantage, base, negation theory, one either reject the after counter better, or the counter is better, or the status quo is better, which is always on real decision making. C is feasibility for interest, debatable default to a competing interest, instead of bivalent theory, causes substance crowd. D's are heavily negative, neutral makes theory debates, and pulsal and exag, no to an R, so hold on what they said in the 1AR, which is especially true in this debate, when they condo shell was literally 5 seconds long and didn't have any warrants, all their standards proper, one rest Ross, the active, full after they're kicking out, condo 3 appears to king out of advantage, and second time to use the inevitable means that our interest all marginal means A, some people talk faster, B, because 10 days since the F1 time, don't have time to straight turn, 3 is dispo, non-unique, their own offense, next, teams can force pressure, rating process accountable, which means that dispo is functionally condo. Deterrence counterplan proper. The deterrence counterplan is a straight turn on case, which means winning this flow alone is sufficient for a neg ballot. Withdrawal does not decrease the chance of war with Iran or the chances of death by terrorist attack. It guarantees that the app has to answer each of these framing arguments to win case. If they even drop one of these 4 links, deterrence turns and outweighs the app. One is Iran is structurally power maximizing and revisions. The app fundamentally misunderstands the regime strategy. The 1AC assumes Iran and other terrorists will back down if the US does, but Iran and terrorists always favor aggression over balancing. Withdrawal leaves a power vacuum that they will be eager to take advantage of, guaranteeing the Iranian and terrorist expansion that triggers miscalculation and escalation. Is proven empirically time and time again. Iran bombed a nuclear armed Pakistan unprovoked. Iranian Navy has been attacking U.S. vessels in the Persian Gulf for years, and Iranian proxies have ramped up aggression across Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan post October 7th. And every terrorist attack ever is proof that they hate the U.S. and they will not back down if we back down. Second is project root cause framing. Even if the app is right that the only reason Iran or the terrorists hate the U.S. is because of our military incursions, it's too late to get on their good side. Iran calls America the Great Satan because our hatred of us is fundamental to their national identity. We toppled their government to install the Shah and have invaded their neighbors on both sides, Iraq and Afghanistan. The plan can't undo half a century of U.S. provocation, and now Iran won't trust any American olive branches. The last time we tried with the JCPOA, Trump pulled out the rug from under them, which means at best Iran will think any de-escalation will be rolled back. 3 is no app evidence assumes the counterplan. The only reason deterrence hasn't worked is because we haven't done enough, which goes straight up dropped. Iran may be revisionist, but they aren't suicidal. We have nuclear weapons and a huge military budget that could easily swamp them. Right now, Iran knows we have the capacity, but doesn't think we have the will to crush them. The counterplan shows them that we will not tolerate any further escalation. Our app evidence only says that the status quo is failing, which we agree with. That's why I read a uniqueness counterplan. 4 is this is empirically proven. The status quo is reducing presence, specifically in Iraq, and it hasn't a thing to make Iran back down. We've gone from 150,000 troops in Iraq to 2,500, and Iran is still escalating attacks in the country. On perm do both. The app said in cross-examination that they get rid of all offensive troops and only leave the advisory troops. The counterplan is about increased offensive troops like airstrikes capability. Don't tell them that it's okay to lie in cross-examination, especially since they said that it's an 80% reduction. We would be an increase, i.e. an 80% increase. So we're the opposite. On the consent stuff, 1 is that they're already a failed state, which takes out all of this. There's no reason that Iraq has any capabilities already, which means that there's no impact to this. Second is that there is no impact. So what if we make the Iraqi government mad? They have no capabilities. They can't start a war with us. 3 is that if we answer their second advantage, then we've answered this because it's just a cross-application of the corruption stuff. The relation stuff is also just a cross-application of the second advantage, so I'll do that on the case debate now. Case debate. I'm extending the Seligman and Bonko 1-9 card, which goes completely dropped. 1 is that Iraq's own prime minister declared that he doesn't want the American officials to leave and that he wants to actually renegotiate us keeping our presence there. They literally did not have an answer to this, which means you should err heavily in negative. Second is that even if they did want us to leave, this is thumped time and time again, which means that there's absolutely no impact. They already asked us to leave years ago, and guess what? Nothing happened. They never enforced it, and no nuclear war broke out, which clearly proves that
there's no impact to this relations thing. Second is that they are wrong on the corruption debate. Her answer to this, our GR22 card, lacks all warrants whatsoever. All she said was is that we've read evidence and it's about small corruption. No, it isn't. It's about a $2.5 billion heist that may only account for 1% of corruption. Corruption is widespread because of the political environment, detached from all the military, because political elites have had such a strong grasp that they are hoarding all the resources for themselves across healthcare, education, financial services, construction, or any other sector, all of which is detached from the U.S. military. They have read no evidence that the U.S. is the only root cause, which means that also all their terrorism stuff is absolutely nonsensical, because they said that corruption will cause terrorism because it breeds political and economic instability that causes radicalization, which means terror is non-unique. On to advantage one. But independently, they considered that Iran's proxies means appeasement will fail. This was the Balder 23 card that said that even if the AF makes Iran happy, they can't stop Hezbollah or the Houthis, both of whom were terrorist organizations founded on anti-Western principles whose apocalyptic ideologies means they don't care about mutually assured destruction and will hate the U.S. no matter what. The only way to stop escalation with proxies that inevitably draws in Iran is the counterplan. Only increasing military presence through precision strikes can take out Hezbollah, Houthis, and the ISIS's capacity to escalate. Second is if they say that advisory troops are enough to solve, then that means that the status quo and our current military presence is also enough to solve, because we have troops there. The first thing about how it's temporary, permanent tension just proves the need for the counterplan. No matter what, there will be tensions. The only option for the U.S. then to take is to prevent those tensions from escalating to the war. Their second thing was about how it's the Houthis and October 7th thumbs, and they just list a bunch of tensions and crises that are currently happening. But all these crises prove the counterplan works and prove that the status quo works, because right now all of these things that are happening have stayed low level. Key thing about this is that none of them have escalated to full-blown nuclear conflict with Iran. They've stayed just proxy warfare and low-level conflicts because the counterplan sets a red line.
I have 125.